Okay, so good morning, everybody. We are starting up rather with the first class properly because April May we just have one session. But now that we'll have to take regular classes properly, and many of you have joined new, so I thought to have the things revised also. Okay. Now, basically, the you are all aware of the subject. Many of you have studied in class 9th and 10th also. The pattern remains same. If I kind of share with you the syllabus ones, because that is something very important for you to understand, and the way or the mode of teaching we are going to follow. Right? All of you might not be present with our team during 9th and 10th, so you're not aware of all the things which we are going to do. I mean, the way we do it. But yes, I want to really share with you the pattern we follow. Okay? Now, because Saturdays are the only days we intend to meet this year. So everything might not be possible for us to cover in minute detail while writing also, with writing also. So what I prefer is that the material will be shared with you in the GCR. I go a little faster, okay? The pace will be little faster so that we do not write much in the sessions. We are going to follow the sessions, the way of discussions and other things, case studies and all. If you need to make your notes, you can make it later. Otherwise, you refer to the material being shared with you. Right? If you feel that soft copy is a problem for you to manage, so it's better that you take a print of it, spiral bind it, and keep it. Okay? Now, just quickly, we go through the syllabus first, that how exactly the syllabus is divided into. Right? First of all, it's a 50-50 marks subject, that is 50 marks theory and 50 marks practical. You can see here, it's a 100-mark paper and 50 marks theory and 50 marks practical. Wherein you have two aspects to that. Number one is the employability skills, which is like common for all the skill subjects that CBSE has introduced. And many of you who have done class 9 and 10 will know that, ma'am, these are the same things we have done, but the topics are different for 11th and 12th. Okay, so we do have to study these also, even if you have done them 9 10th, right? So employability skills, if I talk about the basic meaning of it or the reason for introducing this part is that they are trying to make you ready for the for a business setup once you're out of class 12. So you are like good with your communication, you know how to manage yourself, you know the technical details of ICT and entrepreneurship and the green skills, which are very much important nowadays. So they are making you ready for your job world, right? That is the basic purpose of this. So this is around 10 marks for the board exam also, though the pattern might be a little different in the first term of class 11th. As we are able to cover the amount, accordingly you'll have the exam. Second part is your subject specific skills. This is the place we actually get involved into the AI part, right? So here you have various units specified here. Unit 1 is introduction about your AI and the components and the domains and meaning and the scope and everything. I mean, machine learning and what all is involved there. So it's all about that. It's a huge chapter, but yes, the concepts are interesting. And you're like introduced to the broad area of what all is happening in this particular subject or area, right? Just a second. Now, will that be a bit better? Right. So the second part of the syllabus talks about the subject specific skills, and here we are having first unit as introduction, second unit as unlocking your future. So this talks about the scope of the subject, how all things are being utilized, and where all you can actually go once you have studied this. So it's future in AI. Then is the Python programming, which has a lot of aspects. We are going to divide the study with the basics of Python, along with the libraries, because those are important for implementing the AI based code. We have to learn certain libraries. So that part is there completely in Python programming. The base of the thing is done here, and whatever the higher concepts we do in class 12. Then there's this project which we have to work on. That's a complete understanding thing. So introduction to the capstone project. Then we have understanding about data literacy, machine learning, uh, your NLP concepts, and ethics. Ethics being very important. So that part is your part B, which is around 40 marks overall out of your 50 marks. Then there's one more aspect which needs to be thoroughly done, which is your IBM skill build certification. This includes your practical, this will be included in the practical 50 marks. I'll share the way you have to do it. They are just step by step documentation given to you, content given to you, which you go through and then attempt certain questions based on that, right? And level by level, you qualify for the certification. So that is something which is very important. You may go for any other industry certification also, if you are able to manage that. Then, of course, the project which you learn, you implement. Then there are certain boot camps which CBSE organize. You may attend those. It's very nice. The boot camps are very good. The only problem is the timings are around, I think, if I'm not wrong, last time it was around 3:30 or 4 o'clock till 5:30. That becomes really hectic after school, right? And it's a huge span for a month. But they're very good. They're very, very good. If you can do that, it is going to be really helpful. Then, of course, the practical file, lab work, and the Viva based on the file. Right now, you have to keep in mind that 11th, your Viva and your other things will be internally evaluated. But for class 12, as other subjects, it will be evaluated by an exam, outside exam. Okay. So it has to be thoroughly done too. So these are the three parts which you have in the syllabus. And as of now, we are going to quickly go through Unit 1 today, right? And let's see how much we can cover. So starting with this, I really want to first and foremost, surprisingly, take you to the last part of my slide. Why? I have a reason for that. Because you all might have the curiosity to know that what's so special about AI. See, certain things you all get in the internet and you may all be aware of it. So, I am sorry if that's not in this PPT, because I think I changed that and it's there in my laptop. Okay, not a problem. Let me talk about it as such. Then we'll start. See, what exactly are we talking about when you talk about intelligence? Right? See, computers have been used since beginning to do the work, since many long years, right? But what we are looking at there is automation. We are automating our manual work, right? Which machines have been doing for a very, very long time. Very, very long time, right? It's been, I think, 30 years, 35 years, 40 years that machines are being implemented in banks, in various other offices, schools. For all other work, we are using computers to do our work. But that is coming under the major understanding of automation, computerized work. Okay, we all understand that. Where does AI fit in? Whenever I talk about AI, we are really talking about artificially incorporating intelligence into the machine. Correct? Now, intelligence, we say that has been given by God, we develop that and humans have it. But now that intelligence we are trying to put into the machine also. So that what can he do better? He can take decisions better. He can actually take decisions and do that in a better way. Right? To understand this thing better, let me give you an example of this. Supposedly, I'm talking about a situation wherein you all have done Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion of temperature, Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion. The traditional programming concept would say that I give you the input, like user gives me the number which I want to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit or Fahrenheit to Celsius. I give him a formula, right? The machine is able to implement that formula with the input and give me the result. Fine. Is there any intelligence involved in this? He is doing what I am asking him to do, and I have given him the process also. I told him, take the input. I gave him the formula to implement it, right? Where to put the formula. You are implementing that. Your machine is implementing that and is giving the output, right? So is not really incorporating the intelligence in that. Correct? Now, where exactly do I understand in a situation that the intelligence is incorporated? The intelligence is incorporated if I give him the problem or the input, I may say, and the solution at times, and I ask him to make the process. That how do I get from the problem to the solution? How do I get from the input to the output? The machine is designing itself the process, right? In human day-to-day life, you are having a problem. You design your own solution. That's what we learn with intelligence. That's what we learn with time. Even a small toddler also finds solution to his problem. That if I cry, people will come and give attention. That is his way of solving the problem. Correct? So that is why now the basic thing what I'm trying to tell you here is that my input is given to you to the machine and the output is given to the machine. I'm asking him to design the process. So for example, I'm giving him all the Celsius values and I'm giving like 5 Celsius values, 10 Celsius values, 100 Celsius values, and I'm giving him corresponding 100 Fahrenheit values also. Now, I want to see, or I want my machine to design the algorithm himself, design the formula himself, by which he is able to convert any new input coming in of Celsius to the Fahrenheit. This is what is artificial intelligence basically aiming at. There are many more aspects to it. I'm just giving one example. That how exactly the traditional processing is differing from the AI processing. Right? Another example. You are given, you people maybe have attempted logical reasoning questions in any entrance exam or something, right? Now, they're very simple kind of a series. If I tell you, I give you the question is there which says 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and the next is a dash. So, what is your intelligence thinking? If the first number is 5 and the second number is 10 and the third number is 15, what is the pattern? Based on that pattern, I come to the 6th output. Right? You have not been told that it's plus 5, plus 5, plus 5 as well. Your intelligence understood that it is plus 5, plus 5. You got the point? Right? So that is what I am trying to incorporate. I'm trying to tell or learn how can I make my machine do it in the best of the ways possible. Right? I talk about another practical example, the weather forecasting, though it's funny at times. Even AI models are not able to predict the Delhi weather properly, right? But actually what we are doing is we are giving the data of past 10 years, past 15 years, past 20 years to the AI model. That if this was the humidity level, this was the air pressure, this was the thing, this was the time of the year, this was the temperature. So this is the kind of output you're getting. This is the kind of rain, this is the kind of humidity you're getting, right? Based on all that input and the current satellite pictures of the cloud moving and all that, they try to give you a solution or whatever. They try to tell you prediction that I am going to have rains tomorrow or day after or after 10 days or whatever, right? So it's based on the data only. Even if I have an engineer deciding whether it is rain, or weather forecaster deciding whether it is rain or not, it is based on his experience. You know, the olden days, people would be able to see the cloud and the air density or maybe feel that thing in the air and say whether it will rain today or not. They don't need any mathematics for it. They don't need any other data for it. They will see the sky and it will be able to tell us how experience, That's his intelligence, that he has been able to see and able to analyze and able to make a prediction. That is what we are going to learn, that how my machines can make predictions correctly. But mind it, these are predictions only. They may not match the reality. And we actually learn till the end of the process, wherein we try to evaluate the AI model we have developed, that whether it is able to achieve what it is aiming at. Kitna accurate hai? 90% accurate, 40% accurate, 100% accurate, 80% accurate. How much is it able to? The predictions of the AI model is equivalent to the reality. Right? So that's the whole scenario and the whole focus of our study. Am I clear with the concept? Right? Because you should be very clear with machines to सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, so AI क्या करेगा? Machines is doing, automation is everywhere. We have ATM machines, we have banking operations happening, we have any kind of you go to library to issue a book, computers are being used there. Nobody is manually writing in registers and doing it. है ना? But is it intelligence? No. Because he's following a set pattern of code and just executing it every time. He is not doing anything new. He is not trying to do something extra on his own. Make some predictions, make some decisions. No, he's not doing that. Right? So if that is happening, then I would say that I'm talking about intelligence. Am I clear with the base concept what we are aiming at? Right. Now let's move on to the things which we have to do. Okay. So obviously there are certain things which whenever we start with the subject, we definitely have to talk about. And here we are trying to compare the human intelligence with, because if I talk about human intelligence, then only I'll be able to understand that what am I trying to incorporate in my machine, right? So that is why they say that human have brains and we learn to use our brains well. So I have to make my machine do that, that is able to design, implement, decide on his own. That is when I'll say that he's using his brains properly. Okay? When are we called intelligent? We are called intelligent when we can solve problems, when we can take decisions, and all that. So that is what we ultimately aim at to give to my machine. I'm able to recognize patterns. There are two people giving the exam for logical reasoning. Somebody who is able to understand the patterns well in those questions and are getting the correct answers, I would call him intelligent, or rather more intelligent than the second person, right? So that is what understanding the patterns, deriving into some kind of a conclusion out of those patterns. They all are coming under the intelligence factor. This is the person who had actually coined this term long back, 1955. You will not believe it. It's not a new concept. So John McCarthy is the person who actually came up with this concept that we can make machines intelligent. Though it took a setback, much was not done in that direction later for a long time. And then again, it started coming up. But actually, the concept was given long back. Fine? So this talks about the basic why or what is AI. So we say that imitate humans. Humans have intelligence. We are just trying to imitate that in terms of everything. Whether it's language, whether it's vision, whether it's, jitne bhi, God-gifted senses you have. So we try to incorporate those things into the machine. That is what we try to do. Those are God-gifted. Isn't it? With the eyes you are able to see, with the hands you are able to touch and feel, the way you are able to see, speak. These are God-gifted things. Isn't it? You learn a few things and you are able to use them. So that is what we are trying to do with the machines. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. It's okay. Sorry, we got disconnected. And we resume with what we were actually doing. Right, so we were talking about the evolution, and there we see that with all the other things, this is how it looks like. So this is a person called as Alan Turing who gave a test. It's called the imitation test, very popular. This was even before John McCarthy had given the term AI. He didn't talk about the term AI, Alan Turing. He just gave a concept that can machines think. He did a test wherein he wanted to prove that whether machines can think or not. That was his concept. From there, maybe this fellow picked up, and ultimately in the Dartmouth conference, he coined the term artificial intelligence in 1956. Okay. Then there was this whole era for about 1960s and 70s, which is called as the AI winter, when nothing was being done. That's called the AI winter. Then 1990s, we say the end of AI winter happened, and then dire, the spring started off, as we call it, and the development, technological development, and the concept of AI started coming up again after in around 2000. Fine. And in the past 25 years, much has been done. And even policy making ke liye, like if I talk about government organizations, this weather forecasting is the nowadays all these organizations are using big data analytics to take decisions. Fine. So that is how in 2018 that was the first thing being done. That was the first time the World Health Organization had done used AI for policy decision making, health policy decision making. And after that, then those things are covered. Okay, so that is how it has been coming up all this time. Say that we are talking of 3 levels here, right? Because things have changed with time, right? How much of intelligence you are able to incorporate, what all functionalities you are able to incorporate, we are talking of in those terms. So there are 3 categories or 3 levels here. The narrow AI, 2010 to 2015, the initial years, right? Once the AI spring started. Then the broad AI, which is today. You can say AI for enterprise. Everywhere it's being used. In our homes, in offices, it's everywhere. Something or the other component we are using of AI, right? And then we talk about the general AI. By general AI, they are meaning that by the time it will be 2050, they are saying that almost everything will be taken over by robots. AI will be thinking, will be having other aspects of human also, right? So that is something which we are calling as general AI level. Artificial super intelligence may emerge in the future, potentially leading to self-aware machines. But this is, as of now, pretty far-fetched thing. But yes, it may happen. The way things are moving on, it may happen. So we have to keep ourselves updated, and we have to keep ourselves in the mode that we are able to keep a match with the things which are changing, right? Like if I talk about the automation, when the automation of computers of systems started in India, you may ask your parents or your grandparents also maybe in their late years before their retirement, and the systems were being incorporated. So the amount of resistance which was faced, they were not ready to do things on the machines because it was very uncomfortable for them. To learn the typing and to learn using mouse and to learn using those devices, it was very difficult. Right? But then, yes, they did everywhere in the banks and hospitals, in every aspect. Things started automating, and things were changed. We started incorporating those things. Similarly, for AI also, we are focusing so much that this generation should be aware of the things, should know how things are going to change with them. Right? So that's our main focus. The next part, again, a very interesting concept, which is basically that how we are dividing the domains in the field of AI. Okay, 3 main domains: NLP, vision, and science. Now, frankly speaking, they work in convergence nowadays. You will not find very exclusive applications where only NLP is being used, or only vision is being used, or only data science is being used. Everywhere there's an overlap. Okay, but yes, let's understand them individually, and then you will yourself be able to find out the overlap, right? So NLP, whenever I'm saying that this domain is basically focusing on those areas of human work where language is involved. Where I speak, people understand. Where they speak, I understand. I write, people understand. They write, I read, and I understand. Right? So Simple example, you go to Google, you type in, whenever you're typing, things are coming up. Prompts are there, no? But what you're trying to exactly type in. That means he's understanding what you're typing. Isn't it? In the phones also, we have sentence completion things happening. It is able to understand that. Right? I speak, he is able to convert. Text to speech, speech to text. These things are happening. So they are able to understand your language. Not only English nowadays, we find these conversions happening, all these things happening in multiple languages. Earlier it was only English maybe. But now we have Spanish also, we have French also. Google Translate, I think, converts to numerous languages. I can't tell you the number, maybe exact, but numerous languages. Except for some tribal languages or certain very basic, which are there in small parts of the world maybe. Other than that, all the common languages which I use, whether it's Chinese or Spanish or German or French or English or whatever, Japanese, all are being involved. They're developing these things yourself, I mean themselves, right? So NLP, if I read from here, it says that it refers to the field of computer science and AI that focuses on teaching machines to understand and process languages in both written and the spoken. The way two humans can communicate with each other, and they are able to communicate because whatever I'm speaking, you're understanding. Whatever I'm writing, you're understanding, and vice versa. Similarly, I want that I should be able to perform that kind of a communication with my machine. Like we see those Siri and Alexa, we speak and it is able to understand that thing. And they're able to work accordingly. So we are trying to develop those things. So we are basically teaching machines to understand the process of language, writing and written and spoken form. Right? Now, इसमें बहुत सारी चीजें involved है. Basic understanding of alphabets, text summarization, you can talk about speech recognition, you can talk about sentiment analysis. Now, like in Instagram or in other websites where you are putting your blogs, your posts. So how come are they able to extract whether it's a hate post or not? The kind of language they have used in the post, the machines, the AI systems keep on reading that. Oh, humans were sitting in the room. Multiple huge millions of posts coming every day. So machines are reading those posts and are able to analyze the language being used and they classify it, this is a hate post. And they notify the government, they notify the people, they ban it. How do they do it? Or they inform the people who are involved and they are accordingly able to take care of that. Okay, so a lot of aspects are there. We'll come to that in detail also later. Now, there are two aspects of NLP here. One is understanding the language. So you are speaking and I'm understanding it. Right? And the second is that I am also able to speak back. Has it ever happened that you have a person or a friend who understands your language but can't write or read? It happens. Like I'm a Bengali myself. I can understand Bengali. I can speak Bengali, but I cannot write fluently. I can write it, but I cannot fluently write or read. Right? So that is why they have taken two aspects. One is understanding of the language. Like I'm saying, I understand Bengali very well. But am I able to generate it? In generation also, I can speak, but I cannot write. Right? So that is why it's very important. There are two different aspects altogether. So that is why they have to be done separately. Okay? So the process of NLP involves two things. Understanding of the language also, along with the generation of the language. Right? When you talk about understanding of the language, there are these terms which, as of now, you might find a little absurd. Syntactic parsing, semantic analysis, named entity recognition, sentiment analysis, which all comes under understanding. Now, in order to understand it in simple languages, I'll just come to it somewhere here. I'll put an examples here. And then generation is basically conversion. Like whatever a person is speaking, I am able to write it. Is a machine able to convert data to text and text to data, right? So that kind of a process is involved in the generation. Okay. Now here you hear this term syntactic, semantic, sentiment. These three terms I can make you understand immediately. Anybody? Syntax or syntactic, semantic, and sentiment. Sentiment we understand. It's a happy mood or a hate, where I'm saying the hate post, or a happy mood or a sad mood. So sentiment analysis. From the text of somebody you can understand. You know, we actually read and say, "अरे ये तो suicide कर लेगा, ऐसा सा लग रहा है पढ़ के." This thought process and everything. So you can make out from that. So that is sentiment analysis. What exactly we are talking about when I say syntactic parsing and semantic analysis? These two terms, syntax and semantics, right? They actually talk about format and meaning, right? Now, in English, I give you a sentence where I say, the child is playing with the wall, right? Grammatically correct, but not very meaningful. Why should he play with the ball? He should play with the ball. Right? Playing with the ball is something which is odd. So syntactically correct. So the use of subject predicate and use of verb and use of adverb and use of adjective, all these are part of your syntax of the language, rules of the language. They are being correctly used, but the meaning is not clear. Semantic talks about the meaning. The meaning is not clear. Right? So both the aspects come under here. Understanding the sentiments come under here. Natural language understanding. Okay? And then you talk about the generation of the language also. Just a bit of description here. NLP is a broad umbrella term encompassing everything related to how computers interact with the human language. It is like the whole library filled with different tools and techniques of working with language data. So that's the overall umbrella term we are using. When you say NLU, it's a subfield that focuses on understanding the meaning of human language. It analyzes the text and the speech, extracting information, intent of the writing, the sentiment. So you're like finding a specific book in that huge library, which will satisfy my mood, my understanding, my sentiments. I find a book like that. Yeah, you see the picture of the book and say, "नहीं यार, ये तो बड़ा sad सा लग रहा है. It's sounding like a thriller. I don't want to read thriller. I want something comedy." So these kind of aspects. NLG, on the other hand, this basically talks about generating. Think of this as writing a new book based on the information gathered from the net. So you have read everything, you have seen everything. Now you talk about interpreting. You're talking about writing your own content. We see now ChatGPT is giving us new content. I give him a text, rephrase, he gives me a new content altogether. Like, very beautifully framed up. Right? So it is able to generate the language. I give him and I say, please convert this into Telugu, convert into Tamil, convert into this, translators. They're able to generate the language. उसमें क्या हो रहा है? वो understand भी कर रहा है उसको, फिर उसको convert भी कर रहा है, फिर उसको लिख भी रहा है, and maybe वो speak भी कर रहा है. If you have a voice thing there, वो is speaking also. Everything is happening there, right? And these tools are currently available. They are not something we are talking about the future. They are currently being used, right? So this is all coming under your NLP. Vision is talking all about your object detection and classification and understanding and visual information. Whatever you are seeing, you're capturing, you're understanding, you're classifying. By seeing, you're saying this is an apple, this is a pear. By seeing, you're saying this is an animal, this is a human. By seeing, you're saying this is a cat, this is a dog. Right? So computer vision is talking about images, videos, analyzing them, differentiating between them, and generating data from that. Using that data. Marking attendance, using your retina. You've seen in movies that when entering a very secret room, they are using their palms or their retina checks. They show all that. Thumb imprint. But they are supposed to be unique for every individual person. Okay, na? So all that is based on all those aspects are coming under or covered under computer vision. Now your Zoom will close, so we will continue with a few more minutes. So you have to join back again. Make sure that you join back so that we can continue a little more. Okay, I'll not take much time. Thank you.